The world is in such need of our hearts and our care and our help. And I'm not saying that from an arrogant standpoint. I say that with what's happening with the earth right now. I mean, it's so devastating, and it is so beyond what we can fathom. And this planet and its beings on it are going to go through unbelievable suffering because of it. And if there was ever a time that we needed to be available to serve, it's going to be now and in the coming years. I think we have no idea what we're going to be faced with. And I think that we have to be so strong and so available to know how do we help. And we knew 60 years ago that we were messing with the planet, and we didn't get it. And now it's just so heartbreaking. And whatever we can do to help the planet, to help teach, to help, I mean, in so many ways, we need to be doing that. But part of your Bodhisattva vow, and to those who've taken it, is the call to action. Don't go to sleep. And it's going to get so potent as the suffering gets bigger and bigger. So I just want to begin with that and bless everyone's heart. So traditionally, the ceremony includes the paramitas. And the paramitas are generosity, discipline, exertion, patience, meditation, and wisdom. Par means the other shore, and mita means the ones who crosses over to the other shore. And the paramitas are how do we serve the world. It's how do we work with ourselves, but then in the Bodhisattva text, it's through how do we serve the world. And we do that through the paramitas. And if perfected, those practices help us cross to the other shore of enlightenment in the process of helping others. So, in the context of the Bodhisattva vow, the first paramita of generosity, what comes up for you? How do we use generosity in the sense of the Bodhisattva vow? Just thoughts, ideas, things that come. There's no right answer here.
What you were saying this morning about relinquishing your territory and mind is a gesture of generosity.
Great. What else?
That was mine too.
Ditto that. Great. The way that I've always taught it is that the greatest offering of generosity is to be yourself. And that allows others to be themselves. And that's what all beings want, is to be truly, completely their essence and to be seen in that. And that generosity is also to be open to collaborate, to be willing to collaborate with those and not stake out a territory that is separate. This is a place of such great generosity when we're helping that there's a way we want to go, I'm helping. But in this way of being able to go, how do I support you in helping? But that first part of it about allowing others to be themselves while you are totally yourself. In my work as a therapist and as a teacher, I would say the thing that most people want more than anything is to be seen, to be understood, to be attuned with. Okay, discipline. How would you guys approach discipline in the sense of the Bodhisattva vow, or being a Bodhisattva?
Well, discipline in terms of staying with my own practice so that when the time comes I can be available and not...
Great. That's one part of it. Anything that come for you?
I would come back to that, the wild urge to do my own thing and have my own space. I just don't want to deal with this shit right now, kind of thing. And the discipline to say, I see what that is, but I'm going to let that go.
Great. Yeah. So what I have written down is, this is where we listen and stay open to others. If everyone else was perfect, this would be easy and would feel good. So this is unfortunately not the usual case. Others are very problematic, stressed out and not open to collaborating with our help, right? Because we want to help. Discipline is sticking with staying open and not redefining our territory. That's one part of it. The other part is exactly that, is that to actually do the Bodhisattva vow, we have to practice so that we learn how to listen to the deeper thing that is calling. But then meditation is a whole nother one of the paramitas. So discipline is, I think more than anything, is knowing how to hold your seat. Is the ability to know how to stay in the face of getting completely, totally hooked. Exertion. Anything you want to say about exertion? I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, in a lot of ways, the things we've talked about. What I have said is trusting the situation that you are in. We often say, if this were that were different, I would stay open. Exertion is the willingness to be guided and nourished by the situation that is happening. But we have to exert to be actually able to stay with what's happening, not what we want it to do. You have to keep trusting every situation, and when you exert in this way, then every situation is an opportunity to connect with others. Using the energy of the situation or the mood and keep offering kindness and compassion to that situation is going to take exertion. If you do this, then you will never get tired in the face of that exertion. Because you're not fighting against them, you'll get energized. When we struggle, we become exhausted. Patience. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just being able to wait and allow something to unfold when you don't hurry along.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it seems to grow right out of the rest of them.
Yeah. In the irritation. The patience to actually also go, whatever is arising in me is not about them in that moment. They cannot make me feel a certain way. But what is arising here, that's the retreat right there. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to also say, patience with yourself through all these things, right?
Yes.
Because you're laying down a bunch of stuff that's really challenging.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. What I've said is patience is the open willingness to feel suffering, to be with sentient beings as they are and to feel it. Often when working with people, we become very distressed. People try to hurt and belittle us or play power games. Patience is the willingness to be with those situations and the feelings that arise, to work with it, to take care of yourself but not throw it back on the other at all. Patience is the willingness to handle and work through every situation with another. If they tweak us, it is our stuff. If our minds are really open, empty, and free, people can be whoever they want to, and we can welcome them with generosity and love. The Bodhisattva path is to not react to others. Your behavior is guided by your inspiration, not by what they do. It's an important one. Let the energy that is negative blow by. You offer them love no matter what the situation is, even if your love is a strong no. So patience is patience with ourselves, patience with the world, patience with reality, patience with the desire to do something when we don't really know what to do, so coming back. Okay, meditation. Everything we've talked about requires us having a practice. It just does. That's the only place we actually get to do this work, is through our meditative process. I won't spend much time there. So Prajaparamita, or the heart of wisdom. This is the joyful willingness to be utterly, completely groundless in your life. To be willing to stand in empty space. When we give up trying to find ground in relationships with other people, we are completely free to be with them and be helpful. Our fundamental nature is open, empty, and free, but it is a freedom and openness infused with love. We don't have to manufacture that love for others to feel it. We just have to get out of our way. And all of these then make sense for someone to feel loved. And I've said this before, but I would say the most important thing I did as a psychotherapist was to love people. And totally, completely for who they are. And if I could give everybody as a Bodhisattva one thing, it's to learn how to totally love people, even if you disagree with them. And so all of this, patience and meditation and exertion and generosity, all comes down to, if we get out of our own way, we are fundamentally are in a place of love. And we don't have to manufacture that. And the rest of the world feels loved. And when the rest of the world feels loved, their nervous system settles. And then we don't have to go into battle. Right? If other countries and other political factions could feel loved, we would all settle and be able to have a conversation. So, those are the 6 paramitas. The paramitas are really to see where we're growing. We're not going to get it perfect, but it's a place to see where we're hooked, where we're not doing it. When we have these and we can look back and we can say, okay, generosity, how am I doing with patience? How am I doing with my exertion right now? This is also what we would be doing with a refuge vow. How am I doing on these things? Actually, I'm a little bit low on my exertion right now. I'm actually not exerting. I'm not putting out. I'm not taking chances. I'm not practicing. I'm not whatever. It's really important to keep asking ourselves that. And that's between you and God. And that's a really important question, I think, that we keep checking in with. So the paramitas are really designed as a mirror to see where are we falling short, if we want to say that. When we see where we're falling short, we then can feel the impact of that, right? When we can ask, how is my generosity? And we really look at it, right? If we're sensitive enough, we go, oh, that hurts. And then it's a natural, organic change that happens from that. Okay. So the rest of the ceremony, we'll just jump in tonight, okay? Bring your chants, bring your gift, bring your kata, if you haven't, and bring your refuge name in your head. We will be saying the refuge name in the Shanti Deva chant. Nobody else has to have that. You'll just have to know your name so you can put it in as we're going through it, but you won't be saying it out loud. Okay. I would like to spend the next half an hour finding out how all of you are. Find out how is retreat. How are you? What's alive for you? It could be a report. It could be a question.
Actually, I have a question about the instruction where you go in and you're meditating and you dissolve the boundaries. And it feels like they're dissolving from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It feels inside out. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it, but so that, and where you come to this place and you feel kind of, you might not want to go there because I'm going to lose my mind.
Right.
And then the other one is the pointing out you did it was during retreat
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah,
meadow.
I remember it. Mm-hmm.
That situation. They
Mhm.
all somehow feel
Mm-hmm.
the same, but I can't
Mm-hmm.
put my finger on it.
Yeah, I think it's all the same thing. I just finally got, when you say lose my mind, it would be losing your mind, but not necessarily in the context that we use that phrase.
Right.
You wouldn't be insane. That's the fear, that you'd lose your mind.
Is it losing your ego? Like, is it
Yeah,
just,
but you won't.
is it the ego that's keeping?
Yes,
God, it's
that's its whole
so
purpose in life. The 2 people that I have been around that I say are the most awake people I've ever been with. they both say the same thing, that in that process of losing that, the experience of that part was not then lost forever. That part, because the ego comes back, we continue to have an ego, but it doesn't ever have the same quality or strength in it because we've realized that we've survived. It might come back, but the difference is, and you've heard me talk about this before, the time between the arising of an egoic state, or a hook, even if we want to call that where we get hooked, and the resolution of that gets microsecond, right? So it arises and then it resolves. So in that sense, there's a sense that the fear might come up, or you come out of meditation and boom, we're back into whatever arises in us. But the time period between awareness of that and the resolution, so that we're not caught in that, gets less. And the fear about that letting go, like I'll just say for me, that does not arise at all anymore. The fear of that disillusionment. It's there on some level all the time. With arisings of my ego, I saw it the day before I left. I was just feeling it. And it's not like I don't go for a walk and I'm busy in my mind thinking, okay, we got to talk about this, we got to do that. And that's not a bad thing. I'm giving myself permission to go out and plan, right? But the fear of losing something that is our life, that goes away. But I would say the primary thing is notice what's happening and don't respond to it. The response is clench, right? Come back here and clench instead of relaxing into that. Is that your experience? Mm-hmm. And I would just say, just be super curious about it. Instead of, oh, there that thing is, clench, clench, clench. Gonna stay clenched because that thing is happening. And then you make up a story about it. Mm-hmm. Right? Instead, it's just another arising, a phenomena. That's all it is. Really, it's just another arising of phenomena. We make up the story that it's going to kill us. If you just know that that's the working of the ego, and yeah, that's a pretty shitty deal to it. It doesn't want to do that. Then it's like, no, it's not a big deal. I don't know how many people I have heard ask this of Adyashanti when I've been in retreat with him. When people have asked about this, and he has said, how does he put it? Basically, he's saying, it will dissolve, and you have no worry about it coming back. But he always, he talks about his own anger that comes up at times. But he doesn't act it out. But he feels anger about something, somebody's used his stuff. I've used the example of drinking his beer in the fridge. He gets pissed, I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Just, how is retreat? How are you? How are you in this reflection of your life right now?
Last night during the ceremony, you said you have everything you need. And I woke up this morning and that just felt so true. Mm. And in 20 years of practice, I don't know if it's ever felt this true before.
Oh. Right on.
I know what my marching orders are. It's very clear. I don't have any illusion I'll be sticking the landing anytime soon, but I know what I'm up to. And there's something that feels like, thank you. I'd much prefer we grow old together, but something feels really transmitted here.
I'm so glad. I'm really so glad. Nothing makes me happier than for you to know that in yourself. Yeah. Certain teachers of Buddhism have taken it that there's always one more thing you have to acquire or do before you can get to the next stage or whatever. And that's ultimately not the true teaching, but that's how people have interpreted it. And I so disagree with that. And I actually think if we really acknowledge the natural state of our own readiness, we are ready. We have it. We're there. And so that makes me so happy for you to see that. Thank you. Yeah.
So I have a question. This has also been a really great retreat for me. And I've experienced emptiness or this idea of space in a way that I've heard forever, and I don't think I've ever experienced it. So that's really dope. It's good. But like sort of acknowledge, like being able to know space and not feel the boundaries so much of self and space and vastness. I still have like a lot of physical stuff. I mean, not like I hurt my leg, that's a real physical thing. But it's just this stickiness that's like it feels like a meditation thing, like it only happens like when I meditate. And I get kind of retchy, like one of the meditations, one of the walking things I just started retching, which has happened to me in the past. Like I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah.
What is it?
I wouldn't even try to figure it out. It's just phenomena arising, and the less you react to it, the more you actually just accept it and soften. What's so important is not to identify with it, so that it has the ability to change. More would be like, oh, huh, what do you know? What do you know? Walking. Oh, huh, there it is, huh, yeah. Like that soft. Just not a big thing. Because as soon as we go, oh my God, there's that thing again. There's my retching thing, right? Then it's mine, right? And we actually become kind of covetous of it. Believe me, there are so many people who have strange things that come up when they meditate. And usually it's around some sort of anxiety, or it's around trying too hard. You've heard me say that the only time I ever had a panic attack was at a Mahamudra retreat, because I was trying too hard to experience space. And it was such an eye-opening experience for me. It was like, oh, right, I think I'm trying too hard. And as soon as I gave up, and really, I just gave up. Like, I would come to the sit and I would be like, I give up. Totally give up. Because I wasn't trying to experience anything. So all I can say is, I don't know what it is. I would guess it is something that is some sort of anxiety that is related to coming in close. And oftentimes when we're paying a lot of attention to the breath or to our walking or to space or whatever, there's a contraction to the opening, right? There's an expansion in that moment of space. There's the same amount of contraction that often happens afterwards. And I'll talk about that, about what happens after retreat. We're expanded, we come off retreat, bam, we just get in a fight with our partner right off the bat. That can be common on retreat, even if there's little openings, little contractions, little openings, big opening, big contraction.
I don't know if this is true, but like it feels like all this tension, I mean, this has been going on forever, this like head and face and like.
Yeah, I know, I remember that, yeah.
But I always felt like it was because like I'm always like the world's coming too fast. There's just too much like.
Yeah.
And like it's a safety thing, like to keep myself a little remote. But I'm starting to feel like it's also like I've been keeping myself in. Like the shine, right? Like the bright, which is a profound thing to think about. Like, that it's not so much that everything's too much, but like I've been like limiting myself or something. So I don't know if it's that, but anyway, thank you.
Yeah, all I can say is welcome to the club. Like this is what we,
like it's both way thing.
Yeah, right. And that is so common, the not wanting to let too much in and not wanting to let too much out. And again, it's this idea that, it just breaks my heart even to say it, but that we have such a belief that we are so limited. And in actuality, we are, again, our mind is that much. That's what we experience of the world, is what our mind is only based off of what we know from what we've acquired from our life. So all we know is only from the past. If we actually opened up to what was reality that was happening in a moment, or beyond just even this, mind-blowing. We can't comprehend it. And that's why I think in some ways in human form, we don't comprehend it until we're free of the human body. That's why death is so mind-blowing, because suddenly the restriction that we are held to in the human form is gone. The rods and cones in our eyes, the way that we hear, suddenly that's gone, and consciousness is now totally free. Meditation in general and other things like plant medicine or whatever are ways that we get beyond seeing through the lens of the past and our body sensations and stuff like that. It frees us up. So I just want to say that concept is like gold for me, is to think that there's so much more that is available than just by mind. And that's so profoundly exciting. And I want to just keep saying to you, have this sense about everything that arises as like just this kind of curiosity. You've done so much work on yourself, and you have so much self-awareness, that because this thing has not gone away for as many years as you've had it, that's the point where I would accept it with so much grace. And not accept it like, oh well, it's going to be here forever. But that sense of, wow, you know. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, something over the last couple of days that's been so heightened. On the one hand, it feels like elation, and then it's crushing. And it's that when I have experiences or moments of whether it's seeing beauty or feeling others suffering, it's natural, but the practice is really offer that up. But when what comes up is the awareness of ensnaring myself in another prison, a cyclic loop, I just want to fucking hide under a rock. I mean, it's extreme, it's not always this way, but this really came up today. How could there be an offering? I'm not worthy of it. And yet I know really it's all part of the offering, but I think there's a stickiness that's really keeping me in this conditioned cyclic mind. It's not like I'm seeking out joy so I can give it up all the time, but just noticing how different it feels. Of course, it doesn't feel good to begin with, but harder to, like, oh yes, that too, like welcome it here. And it's like the Alanis Morris said, you know, thank you, thank you depression, thank you fear, thank you anxiety, and offer it up. But it's so small.
Yeah. I think that you're noticing your wisdom and neurosis at the same coin, you know, which is you're so unbelievably generous in your offerings in that way. You're so territorial in some way with that. And the flip side of that is that you have an incredibly strong self-critic that comes in and kicks you in the ass from doing that offering to yourself. So there's an outward sense, but then as soon as you feel that sort of suffering that's happening here, it's easy to see the suffering out there. But what you just described was just suffering. Like we don't even have to label it. It just was just suffering.
The unnecessary suffering.
It's unnecessary suffering. And in that moment, how do you care for yourself as a bodhisattva? How do you care for that suffering?
Hand on heart.
Yeah.
And, hello. Like, I love how your expression has actually really helped, but how quickly I forget it. It's like, of course. And keep going, but I tend to white knuckle it.
Yeah.
Or literally bury under a rock.
Yeah.
Tenderness.
So this is where,
Like,
this is where exertion comes in. Is at the moment where you notice that it's happening, you have to exert to cut the thought. And this is where it is a little heavy-handed, because that other part is way heavier-handed. So you have to just go, nope, nope, nope. And the reason why we keep on it is we go, well, maybe it's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually think that's true. And if I don't think that, then I'm going to become this horrible, awful creepy crawly thing. We actually think if we don't keep thinking something, we will do something. If we don't recognize that we are that bad, that's why we keep circling. What good would it do in this state, you talking to me right now, what good would it do you think, from that part, to keep thinking it?
Something that comes up is, in a sense, it's easier to stay small.
So
And
it's
that keeps me very small.
so it keeps
So
it
it's
serves
paradoxical,
you.
but a sort of
Yeah.
egoic self-protection.
Totally. Yeah, and that's where we have to go. God, brilliant strategy. Brilliant. I mean, really, like, how do we come up with these things? And that's where we have to go. Yeah. Good job. Good job. Yeah, you want to stay small. Now, does my large self right now want to stay small? No, of course not. Yeah. That's where you have to, like, find the big wise part of you and pull it up by the bootstraps and go, I'm going to trust this more. That I don't want to stay small. And really keep stopping that mind state and going towards that big wise part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The non-self exercises, not even intentionally, but like the Tandava, where it's space. It's not overriding the small versus big self, but it's so opens up the vastness that makes that a small story, but
Yeah.
a little story.
Yeah. 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 One more. You had your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after taking refuge last night, and
Yes.
and then I shared this morning, and then I had the experience after listening to you two talk. I was like, oh wait, I didn't actually say what I wanted to say, and I don't know why I didn't. And then I went into this whole loop of like, I want to share again, but it's not my turn to share again. Maybe that's inappropriate. And so I was just off to the races and was in a lot of suffering. And then anytime anybody would ask a question or a reflection, it was just so helpful. It was so helpful. Like, to hear your question, Bae, right before lunch, I was like, oh, vulnerability. I just want to share something. And that's a very vulnerable thing to want to do. And so then I was just so
That's
hard on
right.
myself about it.
Oh.
And then I stayed in that and tried to be with vulnerability and tried to be in the practice and in basic goodness. And it wasn't until the end of the day I was like, well, I took this vow of refuge, and one of them is to take refuge in the Sangha, and I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But that brought me back to like grounded, and then I could be in not knowing, and I just, and that's where I am now, and I'm very grateful to be here. But it brings my question of, I was just wondering, like, the wisdom of you all throughout the day helped with my suffering, and I didn't know what you were going to say, but I'm just so curious to hear from all of you, your experience. Maybe not all of you, but maybe all of you. Your experience of the wisdom of the Sangha, or taking refuge in the Sangha. What is that?
Oh, it's a
What
great
is that
question.
for you?
Great question.
I'll say something that one of the things about the Sangha is that there's all these people here and they're all different. And there's some people, and I'm not saying any of you, but some people kind of tick you off, or some people you feel not as good as, or whatever. All that stuff is going on with you. And it's kind of this reflection, so that like if we were out by ourselves, we wouldn't have this thing. But with these people, and I know a lot of times I thought, these people think, like one of my things is, I talk too much. And you get this reflection and you realize, maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but it's really just me, that stuff going on. And we're all different facets. And it's, bringing something hard to the group is, it's such a place that, you can trust whatever is brought up here. People have brought up some very personal stuff, and, and then you get people reflecting on that. And I think it's eye-opening. So that'd be that's what the Sangha is.
Great.
I just want to say I feel so similarly. I am brand new to this Sangha, and I have felt so many mind trippy things, intimidated, I don't belong, I'm gonna take refuge among all these people, none of them know me, it wasn't even supposed to, it's supposed to be you. And I will simply say personally, I've been in other sanghas, and there's something in this group of people I don't have a history with, and many of whom don't know me, that just felt like the right leap of faith, and that includes you.
No.
I guess I want to say too, after, God, how many years? It's been 13, 14 years that I had a similar 2 days like you had today. I just had to go away and be embarrassed and said the wrong thing. You know, I just, like it happens every retreat pretty much. And
That's not a problem anymore.
And the thing with the song is I just come back like you did so beautifully. Well, I think it was the transmission helped a lot. But this love, it's just so simple. It's just, like you said, it's just a safe, it's always here. It's always freaking here. Maybe we're not on each call, or maybe, but we just always come back to this safe landing. And I'm so proud of you. You just did it. You took the risk. And how does it feel now? How do you feel right now?
I'm so happy to hear from all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I've been, like I have not super vulnerable in the way that I'm asking. Like I feel like I'm still protecting myself a little bit from what would be really like, the soft underbelly really came up today. Like that thought of, this is what I'm so scared of sharing. And you said it too, of like, we all just want to be seen. Like I just wanted to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that feels so vulnerable.
That's so
Yeah,
vulnerable. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna add something, actually I talked to Tori about this when we checked in. I think the idea of Sangha also you can find elsewhere. Like there's this idea of community in Sangha. I'm just gonna say, like, so I live with about 8 people. I live with 10 people, but 2 are children. Well, I mean, they're children. I mean,
It's okay.
the reason I'm
Go
saying-
on. It's totally fine.
Okay, yeah, whatever. But everybody's queer. Everybody's gender ambiguous and trans, and everybody's sexuality is like queer. And I feel really held there and really seen in a way that, like, literally I've never in my whole life. And I've been part of the queer community forever, but this particular group of people, there's a certain thing that I'm more embodied. I'm just I've grown, like, unintentionally. I'm not doing work. It's just something that happens. And I think and I've been part of recovery communities. I mean, there's things that happen in groups, but I will say about this Sangha, something, like, there's a certain love here, and what's happened over time, some of them are just interpersonal. There's a certain connection that happens between people. But then when I come here, and I haven't been here in like a couple of years, like I've said, I so fucking love everybody here. There's like also a thing about knowing people. But I don't really know. I mean, in some ways we don't talk that much. So I don't know a lot about people here. But after 10 or 15 years, I mean, at least when I came around the same time, but there's just a certain, like, I've seen people's hearts, and you see people's hearts, and there's like a certain love that happens in this particular Sangha that is really amazing. Like, I mean, I'm super moved to see Greg and Matt do their vows. On the outside, politically, I probably wouldn't even connect with Greg and Matt. Like, in a certain way, cis straight white guys aren't my jam. Like, then we come here, and we're all from different places, and I love them so much. And that's what's for Sangha for me. That's what this Sangha and Sangha is.
That's so right on, and what I keep hearing from people is there's something about love, and I want to just say, though, I'm hearing that, but I'm also hearing the question, how do you take refuge in the Sangha? Not just what's special about this Sangha, but how do you take refuge in the Sangha?
I take refuge in the Sangha, just to answer your question, I can feel the depth of people's commitment. But then there's a field of the community.
Yeah.
And I can feel this depth like a net.
Yes.
And whether
great.
Renee's here, gone for 2 years and comes back, I see Renee, I can feel the depth and how she's always contributing to that net that holds my own practice and creates this sense of real hope and possibility for my own evolution.
So well said. So well said. Thank you. I think in some ways what I'm hearing you say is that it's not so much an actual thing that we do, it's the knowing that the community exists. That a community like this, of this kind of people who are practicing hard, facing the same things we are, doing the same kind of struggles and questions and inquiry that we are doing, that are this humble, is an amazing thing to know, just to know in our hearts that it exists, even if you only see them once a year, right? That's something that's important, because I think often we have this thing of like, oh, we're going to get together all the time, we're going to practice once a week. It always fails. It always fails. I have completely given up on that, partially because I see the strength of the net by meeting once or twice a year. So,
It's
yeah.
also that we go through such hard stuff together. Like, you are dying.
Yeah.
Our
Ah,
mothers
that
have
little
that.
thing.
We've like our mothers and our fathers. We've done
Yeah.
that together, and we
Yeah.
can keep coming
Yeah.
back. Like, it's just deep and real
Yeah.
that we can lean
Yeah.
into each other on those
Yeah.
places. So.
Okay. Thank you. So great. And so appreciate your vulnerability.